Hello, world, and welcome to the Quick Kick Picks presented by Bros Talking Soccer. My name is Dave Knittel. We're back. After about a week and a half hiatus, we're back to talk about 6 MLS matches this weekend. I'm here with my brother Christian. Christian, hello, how are you doing?
Dave, I'm really trying to get through this day. We've had a lot of technical difficulties, and I'm hoping that people can hear me now. But if you can't, then you won't be hearing me later anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm dressed very casual today, ready to coach, just like in a very lax team, just ready to chill a little bit more.
Yeah, Christian has gone to the Maurizio Sarri School of Dress for Managers and is looking very, very comfy. And, I'm a little bit more dressed up, not necessarily cleaned up, but I'm looking, I would say dapper. Christian, is that a word you would use?
It's not a word I would use for you. No.
Well, it's your eyes are saying one thing, but your mouth's saying something else. Your eyes are saying it is a word that you would use. So I'm just going to go with that. Thank you for joining us here. We're going to talk about 6 MLS matches coming up this weekend. We have a Quick Kick Picks game for you to play along with us. Leave your predictions. If you're watching on YouTube, leave the predictions under the video. Preferably, if you're watching on Twitter, leave the predictions over there. I'll keep track of all of the predictions. And at the end of the month of June, the people with the highest scores will get to come on our podcast. 15-minute appearance. You get 1 point for a home team score correct, 1 point for an away team score correct, and 1 point for a result correct. So if a team wins, loses, or draws, and you predict that, that is also a point. And so if you get all 3 of those correct, you get a bonus 2 points. So there are 5 points up for grabs with every single match. Even if you haven't given predictions before, still leave them here. You can make up a lot of ground very quickly if you get a couple score predictions correct. Christian, any advice you would like to give to the viewers?
I just want people to get involved because I'm tired of winning all the time, and I could really use a challenge out here. So if you know your MLS, and even if you don't, I would love some new challenge and new fresh blood.
There you go. All right. And just bear with us through some technical issues, and I think it's going to be okay. First match. Also, a quick reminder, these videos are about 2 minutes long per game because Twitter restricts us to that. So let's talk about Saturday's matches. First up, on Saturday, June 22nd, we have FC Cincinnati hosting the LA Galaxy, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what's going to happen here?
So I just do not have any confidence in FC Cincinnati in any way in this game. I think that they are the worst team in MLS, and I think most of the people would agree with me on that at this point. Yes, they're the newest team, and they're still learning the ropes, but it's been a poor showing from them after an average start, probably. They've just dropped off and have probably been the worst team we've seen in a while in terms of form over the last 8 weeks or so. So coming up against a team led by Ibra in the attack when he plays, it's just they have no shot. It's containing him.
Score?
I'm gonna guess 3-1 on the road for LA Galaxy.
God damn it. So I have a 3-1 result here as well. Both of these sides have had 2 Open Cup matches on this little break here. They both won their first Open Cup match, lost their second one. LA is going to get the win here on the road. Number 1, like Christian touched on, they have Zlatan. Number 2, LA is a pretty good road team. They're picking up 1.4 points per game on the road. That's pretty good by MLS standards. Now, they are going to be missing Jonah Dos Santos, who is away with the Mexican national team at the Gold Cup, and that's why I think FC Cincinnati gets a goal, even though they're the worst attacking team. But FC Cincinnati, they're bottom of the table. Like Christian said, they're the worst team in the league. They have the worst attack. They are tied for the worst defense in the league, and they only have 2 wins at home in 6 matches. LA, easy away victory here, 3-1. Christian, anything else you would like to add?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so we're flying through this one. We got time to spare here. All right, let's talk about our next game. We have the Chicago Fire hosting Real Salt Lake, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. In this one, neither side is going to be missing too many influential players. Now, RSL will be without Jefferson Savarino, and he is the huge miss for them. And for that reason, I think that's really going to hurt their attack here. I have Chicago coming out with a 2-0 home victory here. Chicago is winless in their last 4 matches, but they're undefeated at home in their last 6 matches. They have 4 wins, 2 draws, and 14 goals scored, and only 3 conceded in those 6 matches at home. But Christian, what are your thoughts on this match before I continue?
Well, I don't know what Chicago is going to do this weekend, but I think Chicago is definitely going to get a win in this game. I'm not going to go with your 2-0 result just because you said that. I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to say they win this game 1-0 at home. I don't think RSL are the attacking force that is going to cause Chicago a lot of problems. And I think Chicago just gets the job done. I don't think it's going to be convincing, but I think that they're going to be in control for the majority of the game, and they're going to take a chance late in the second half.
Yeah, so for me, I really like Chicago's attacking attacking pieces, and defensively they've somewhat stabilized a little bit. Meanwhile, RSL, they have the 18th best defense in the league. They're giving up 1.8 goals conceded per match. They only have 3 clean sheets on the season, only 1 clean sheet on the road, and that came against an absolutely terrible FC Cincinnati team. We've already mentioned Savarino being out, and that's why I don't think they're going to get a goal. And Chicago comes through with a 2-0 victory here. Anything else?
Nope, I'm just very excited about the Akaglo versus Chicago game we've got going on.
Yeah, I can't speak today, but and I'm gonna blame that on the fact that this is our 3rd time trying to record this, and I'm gonna say it's your fault because of the audio issues, even though it's 100% my fault here. All right, let's talk about the next match. We're talking about FC Dallas hosting Toronto FC, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Christian, what is going to happen here?
Well, this is the next match that we're going to talk about next, so we might as well talk about it.
You might as well call me Perd Hapley at this point. I am just terrible at this.
This one is probably the highlight game of the weekend, and yeah, I think it's going to be the most technical and just a very entertaining game to watch. I think both teams have attacking ability. I think Dallas are a little stronger, but they may be missing a couple of pieces with the Gold Cup right now. So I don't know if they're going to, maybe not so much. I think that I was thinking of something else, but it's okay. It's okay. Keep moving past that one. I think Toronto are also obviously missing 2 huge pieces in their team with Altidore being out and Michael Bradley. So I think Dallas definitely have the advantage in this game in terms of just being a better team, in my opinion, and the fact that they aren't missing those 2 huge influential players, even though Altidore's missed a lot of games again this season. He's still an important figure for Toronto. Dallas are going to win this game at home. And Toronto, even though they went through a good run of form, I think a couple weeks ago, they're dropping off a little bit, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory for Dallas here.
2-1. All right, I have this being 2-0. I don't think this is really very much different. Both these teams, at least on paper, both mid-table, both by all stats are pretty mid-table as well, from offensive, defensive, possession, all that stuff. They're pretty even. Both are missing some key players due to international call-ups, but I think Toronto's players that are missing are going to hurt more. Josie, Altidore, and also Osorio is not going to be there. Toronto's winless in their last 7. They're giving up 1.7 goals per game overall. And FC Dallas is getting back Pamacol, Cerrillo, and Servania, which I think is going to strengthen their midfield. And ultimately, FC Dallas are averaging almost 2 points per game at home, and they're going to get a victory 2-0 at home here. Anything else?
Nope.
Next match we are talking about is Vancouver Whitecaps hosting Colorado Rapids, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. And in this one, this is the first conference matchup that we're talking about. Every matchup we've talked about before has been interconference. And so this one, 2 Western Conference teams. Vancouver, they've been playing tight matches every single game this year. Christian, in their last 16 matches, which are all of their matches this year, how many times has Vancouver won or lost by more than 1 goal? Quick.
None.
1. And that was against LA Galaxy on April 5th. So every single game is either a draw or an incredibly tight one. I think that is going to continue here. And I think it ultimately ends up as a 1-1 draw. Before I give any thoughts on Colorado, Christian, what do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, so Colorado have rebounded very, very well since hiring their new manager, Connor Casey. But I still don't think that they have all the tools to get a win on the road. I do agree with you that it's going to be a draw, and I just am predicting a 0-0 draw, and it's not going to be very entertaining. I think it's going to be a lot defensive, and both teams trying to counterattack, just not to high effect. But yeah, so that's my prediction for this one.
Interesting. Now, Colorado, if I recall correct, I didn't write this down. I don't know if they've been shut out on the season and or if they have, it's only been once or twice. So generally speaking, they get goals, and that's why I have them getting a goal here. Arguably, they've been one of the hottest teams heading into the Gold Cup break. They started the year absolutely terribly, but they had 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 going into the Gold Cup break. They still only have 1 win on the road and still have the worst defensive record, but they've only conceded 4 goals in their last 5, which, again, is a part of that unbeaten run. I don't think that they give up very many in this one. And, again, their attack has proven that they can score. I think that this ends up as 1-1. Anything else to add?
Well, trends are there to be broken, Dave, so I don't think that they're going to continue scoring in every game this year, and this is the time where that changes.
All right, so there you have it. Only one of us can be correct. Stay tuned. Make sure to tune in to find out. Last game on Saturday. Oh, no, I have my timer. There we go. Last game on Saturday we're talking about is the Portland Timbers hosting Houston Dynamo, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For me, this is the most entertaining matchup of the weekend. Christian, I know you brought up another one, but what's going to happen in this one?
Yeah, I think this is an entertaining game as well, and the Timbers started the season so poorly after winning the Western Conference last year, but they have started to catch a little bit more form. They've been a little bit up and down more recently, but they did go on that stretch of just winning games for quite some time in the middle, I guess. That was a couple months ago at this point, but they still...
Yeah, but also they have a ton of home games coming up on the back half of the year.
Because they were on the road for so long, that's going to be a big advantage for them. This game against Houston is going to be a flyer. I think that the Houston attack is just very dynamic, and they're able to score goals in many different types of ways, while the Timbers do pose a threat on the counterattack, and we've seen it multiple times this year. Even I just remember specifically against the Union, where they just absorb pressure and counterattacking. So it's going to be interesting to see how they line up. I think Houston are the better team overall right now, but the Timbers at home just have that atmosphere, and it's really a tough place to go and play. So I'm guessing this is going to be a high-scoring game, and it's going to be a 3-2 victory for Houston on the road.
Wow, I have a 3-0 home victory for Portland. I think that Houston is
different there, huh?
Yeah, I think that Houston is really going to be missing Albert, Elise, Darwin, Sarin on the back line, Minor, Figueroa, and then Joel Campbell. I think that those absences are really going to hurt, whereas Portland isn't going to be missing too many players. Brian Fernandez, I've been incredibly impressed with. He has scored in each of their last 5 matches, including their Open Cup games, and I believe they're the first 5 matches with him on the squad. So again, he's been red hot. Portland in their last 5 matches, including the Open Cup, they have 3 wins, a draw, and a loss after being very shaky to start the year. I think that they're going to ride that home crowd, all that energy, and this is only their second home match of the season. That's going to fuel them. And on top of it, Houston hasn't been great on the road. Their only win has come against a really poor Colorado side, and I think Portland absolutely cruises here 3-0. Anything else?
Nope.
Getting to our final match of the weekend, Sunday, June 23rd, we have the Columbus Crew hosting Sporting Kansas City at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this game is really tough for me to predict. Neither team is in a great run of form. Columbus is winless in their last 4 matches, and over the last 10, they have 1 win, 1 draw, and 8 losses. Now, SKC in that same time frame, they have 1 win in their last 4 matches, and over their last 10 matches, 1 win again, 5 draws, and 4 losses. So again, each team only has 1 win in their last 10 matches. Columbus is going to be starting life after Zach Steffen. They're also going to be without Will Trapp. Now, SKC is starting to get healthy, but they got smoked in the Open Cup by Minnesota, and I think this one's going to be an entertaining 2-2 draw. Christian, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, this is a very difficult one for me as well. I think both teams are really poor right now, and Sporting Kansas City still are, I think, without a couple of key players at this point. They've had so many injuries this year, and even if they start coming back, you got to build that chemistry again. So I just don't know what their plan is this year, but they're going to be really trying to work hard towards the end of the season to get into the playoffs. I think Columbus, on the other hand, started the season so well, specifically defensively, and just completely has collapsed since then. They have been shocking, in my opinion, at the back and conceding very elementary goals at times. So it's not been good. Their attack really isn't threatening most of the time. It's not potent, and I do not have much confidence in them. I think Sporting Kansas City have the better manager, have the better team overall, and do walk into Columbus and get the win in a 2-1 victory.
Yeah, and actually now that I'm thinking about it more, being without Giassi Zardes, who is an okay MLS forward, I don't think he's an international caliber forward, but for the Columbus Crew, he has been their only sort of goal outlet, and him not being there, I'm starting to regret my 2-2 prediction, but stamped in stone, I'm sticking with it, but I'm not confident anymore. Christian, anything else you would like to add?
I'm not confident in you either.
All right, so thank you for that. Listeners, thank you for being here. Make sure to leave your predictions. We apologize for any audio quality issues, but it just is what it is sometimes. When we're not together, we just have to deal with it. Christian, anything else you would like to add? This has been Quick Kick Picks. Let me do that first. This has been Quick Kick Picks presented by Bros Talking Soccer. Christian, anything else you would like to say to the listeners?
Dave, I would love to. I would love to say, let's go get some matches played this week.
There you go. Go enjoy, everyone.